The Vice Mayor.
I would like to call this meeting to order, Community Redevelopment Agency Workshop, Wednesday, February 4th at 5:07. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our city manager, Derek Fiecher.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. This workshop was requested by some of the commissioners a couple of weeks ago, and then we had to postpone it. So we moved it to tonight. We may have to continue this meeting at another time as well because of the amount of communications that may take place. But we wanted to get, one of the things that commissioners have been talking about is getting your top 3 to 5 priorities. We sent out to you all a list of Main Street priorities, South Atlantic, Midtown, and downtown CRA that are in the plan that have been worked on for many years, and wanted you all to identify your top top 3 to 5 priorities. Also, the finance department gave you all a list of a spreadsheet that denotes all of the encumbrances of each CRA. So you will have access to show that if you all say we are not going to do anything, that money will sit in the bank until you direct staff to do it. But all of the encumbrances that we have to pay year-end debt is directly assigned to it. And I'll use for an example for the downtown CRA that we have a annual contribution for the Esplanade. So those numbers are taken out, and then it also frees up what we have remaining for you all to do business on. So we will allow for you all to discuss each one of the different items and give us direction on what you all want the staff to focus on, and not just allow for staff to say these are our top priorities.
Can I get a copy of that? No, of how much money we have?
Do you have a breakdown?
Yeah, I got 4.
Do we have a copy for everyone, or?
Could we get a copy for, it was sent, but I don't think it was printed out.
Does anybody else want a copy?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So at this time, are you going to do the presentation, or?
We don't have any presentations.
You don't have any
No, we gave
presentations.
you all of the priorities in your email, and we were waiting for you all to direct us because that's what was the request at the
Okay,
meeting.
only 4 of us here, so
Did we
Do
go
we
CRA by CRA?
do we continue?
That's a quorum.
Okay. Let's start with the Blue Road CRA. Does everyone have their priorities? I have mine from last week, last December's workshop.
Casey, if the public is allowed to know what the priorities are,
Okay, John, you're not supposed to be speaking.
I'm not.
Okay. So, in the December workshop, the Blue Road CRA, they had the roundabout, 4 corners. Oh, we have it up here.
And it's on the screen now.
Okay, anyone want to start? Okay, I will. Okay, so the roundabout, 4 corners. Personally, I'm totally against that. There's been no discussion with the county that I'm aware of. Maybe, well, I guess it's been how many years?
County's aware of the concept.
Right. And how many years has it been?
David, if you have the microphone,
Okay.
talk on it. You can just grab a mic.
As the county is aware of the concept. We haven't had specifics because we don't have a plan to present.
Okay.
And it's been in different formats. Has been discussed for a few years. But as I said, we've had conversations with the county, with the public works director. They're aware, but we haven't presented anything formally. We're not to that level yet.
Gotcha. And I have talked to the county council, and none of them are aware of it. Mixed Entertainment District. My main goal, since no one wants to start, is North Beach Street. And I know at the last workshop, we were told up here that North Beach Street was not included in the blue CRA. Well, I went back and pulled every amendment from the property appraisal, which he mailed me, which I have here, and it is included all the way to Mason Avenue.
That was corrected at a
Correct.
meeting.
And so what I hear from the public, and I think the mayor has mentioned it, but I'm not going to put words in his mouth, is we need to do something with the North Beach Street. And I know utilities need to be done. Everything needs to be up ADA compliance. It's one of our worst roads, personally, I think, in the city of Daytona Beach. And if Hyatt Brown has put all this money in Beach Street, I just think it needs to extend. Plus, it will help Holly Hill as well, because North Beach Street goes right into Holly Hill. So, can I get any action here?
We were just talking right now. You just
No, I'm
finished.
just asking.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. So now that we have the new boundaries set up, my main focus for all the CRAs is infrastructure. If we have no infrastructure, we could do all these beautiful projects, but nothing's going to help. So I'm for sidewalks, ADA compliance, even our stormwater storage in that area, because it floods. We want to do all these projects there. No one is going to invest in these privately because the areas flood and they're not going to get financing. So for me, priority should be anything infrastructure projects.
Yes, please.
Okay. And at the last workshop, we were told there was about 2.2 million in there, which is probably not enough to do it all. But is there anyone, Mr. Future, staff, that can tell us a little bit what needs to be done on North Beach Street?
But what can we do with what we have? Let's see something done.
And how much we have coming in, so we could
Exactly.
program it for the next 10 years, right? Because we're
Can't
2026.
hear you, I'm sorry. There's-
To program it for the next 10 years, because we have it until 2036. So tentatively, we should have that amount.
Okay.
Yeah, girl. Still got that
North Beach Street is in our works program now as an internal priority. We've got construction plans developed to about 60%. It's doing with our in-house engineers are doing that when they have time to dedicate to that project. The scope, typical section is a three-lane road section, same as it is now, with connective sidewalks, compliant sidewalks on both sides from Mason to Fairview. And new curb, some bump outs at the intersections to narrow the crossing points for pedestrians, removal of the signal at Madison to a stop condition. The signal is not warranted, and it creates some issues with the sidewalks as well. Excuse me. We loan this seat.
Looking all dapper
Okay.
with his tam on. Look at the dapper mayor with his
So
tam
we have
on.
heard from David, you,
I can just kind of wrap up on that.
Send that over.
And then, once we get through the design process, and in addition to that, Utilities Department has designed a water main replacement that'll go along with the roadway work. They've already done the force main replacement, and then we'll also do a new storm water pipes in that same roadway section. It'll be a full rebuild of the roadway, similar to how the most recent MLK project was between Orange Avenue and ISB. So it'll be a new section that meets all the current standards of the roadway, gives room for some loading space in the center lanes. I know it's currently how it's used. We don't expect to disrupt that, and minimize any loss of parking on each side of the road. From a funding perspective, we're working through our resurfacing program. North Beach and Grandview are both projects that we've identified as needing extensive work more than resurfacing, but still fits in the same category. So some of the funding will expected to come out of our resurfacing program. They would have to be 2 separate years. We can't
Right.
absorb both. Grandview is expected to be done next year. That's the program we've set up with utilities, which would put North Beach out 1 more year unless we find priorities to be funded separately another way. And certainly we'll be reaching into Ken's pocket as much as we can on the Baloo section because it's eligible for that.
Okay, so on the Blue CRA, the funds are available for North Beach Street as well, correct?
There, I think we said there's like 2 million.
2.2.
Yeah, I think we don't have a total cost estimate on North Beach. That certainly would be a good chunk of it. Utilities is planning to fund the water main portion, and I'm not sure, we haven't really gone through all the nuances of the stormwater section yet, but Utilities is going to partner with it just like they are in Grandview.
So this would help.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So question, David, what you've described are some things that you're already working on. So if you were to look at this list for Baloo Road, numbers 1 through 9, it's not up there. It's this little thing right here, CRA.
Okay.
Is it up there?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
up
up
there,
there.
okay. So based on what you just described, in order for those things to be accomplished, what numbers are we looking at? Because we want to get the most for our buck.
Yeah.
I think, from a public works perspective, the two items we've been looking at Baloo is the North Beach. I don't see that on the list, but it's North Beach, and we looked at a roadway realignment at the Holly Hill side, the other side of Mason, Sickler, where it turns
Where
into
Sickler,
Sickler, so that roadway allows left and rights. It's proposed as part of the development agreement with I think it was with the towers, and it didn't get built because they didn't finish that project. So we'd like to finish that. We have a construction plan for that because it was part of their PUD. And then, in the Baloo Road, that's really from a public works perspective, the items we're looking at. And then I don't, the encouragement of redevelopment and repurposing of the buildings in Baloo Road, I think are going to be the real trigger, and I don't know how to do that. That's Ken land, but that a lot of the properties in the Baloo Road area certainly are underutilized or not performing at the level that we think they probably could. But getting our infrastructure done is a big step in that direction, in our opinion.
Yeah, I just feel that the road needs to be improved before we can do anything else on there to improve the buildings and everything else. I mean, it does need a lot of code enforcement over there as well, and I know there's been some drug bust over there, because my son was part of that, because he's on the drug task force, but it definitely needs that North Beach Street.
Yeah, I think so, and I think from the commission, as you go through this exercise, the prioritizing between Grandview and North Beach, and how we massage those through the budget process, and then whether or not we build the budget with Ken's funds or some other funding sources in the next fiscal year. Just kind of some direction would help us from a budget perspective.
So are you saying that Grandview and North Beach pulling from the same pot of money?
They are, if we're going to utilize portions of the resurfacing funds to do those two roadways, that we won't be able to stack them in the same budget year, but they can be done. They'll just be one year after the other. And we had worked out a order of events with the utilities department on Grandview. They're doing utility work 1 year, and then we're following behind with the roadway work. So they did last year, 2 years ago, they did some lining north of Seabreeze, and then we paved that section. This year they're doing utility work between Harvey and ISB, and the expectation when they get done with that next fiscal year, we would do sidewalk, curb work, and paving, and next year they would do utility work south of ISB, and then we would come in and do road work the year after. And somewhere we need to fit North Beach into that puzzle.
So that's-
is another priority for us.
So that's 2027, that's in Zone 3. So 2027, you're looking at Grandview?
Grandview, paving Grandview between Harvey and ISB.
And then
We would bounce the year after to the south side of ISB. But we could push south side of ISB and then fit North Beach in there, or some other funding mechanisms, we could crunch that
so we're
together
looking
a
at
little
2 years at least.
bit. At least, yeah.
And not starting this year or starting this year?
North of ISB currently is having water main work done, and then we're giving them that year to do that, then we'd follow behind with our paving. And that section is expected to get new curb, sidewalks, driveway corrections, and paving. That's a more extensive work because of the condition of the roadway is more so than typical resurfacing.
So, oh, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No,
Okay.
didn't show.
Thank you. So when I'm looking at the Bellew Road CRA, I recognize that we're just speaking right now about public works. This might not be in your purview, but just for the commission. You know, we years ago, and again, we may have spoken about this already, but we had a vision years back, and there was a marina development, sort of entertainment district in that area. Do you recall that? There was a plan for it set forth, and then we kind of stalled out. We did some work with the bridge that's over there. My question is, if there's any interest in keeping a future plan going 5 years from now, 10 years from now, planning ahead, and maybe thinking about what we can do with the bridge. If we could make that bridge higher, that could be a waterway to Root Canal. We would have a lot more traffic through there, and that could be a very nice living environment. My question is that something that we are looking at, thinking about, or just we're not going to? Because if we're making infrastructure changes now, given that we're working on roads over there, is that something that we need to consider?
I think the roadway work we would do on North Beach would support the current use or further development in that area. I think they'll be synonymous. The bridge we did look at, I can't recall really, 7, 8, 9 years ago maybe, we did a design project associated with the idea of bringing boats into the marina or into a marina type setting. We've got construction plans that are that old, however many years ago that was. It does not fit in the right-of-way. It would require right-of-way acquisition. At the time, the property owners that would need to provide right-of-way were not willing sellers, and the project was shelved over cost and lack of public right-of-way to do so.
So it says here, Bellew Road waterfront development. What would that be? I see a
There,
initiative there.
I would assume Ken may want to speak to that, but that it's, we did a planning study back when we did the bridge that identified a different use for the properties surrounding the water that was waterfront.
Right.
And that spurred the bridge. We were working this since Public Works was driving that at the time. We did a bridge set of plans to do that. I can't remember the bridge height. It was a compromise between a full-height bridge and the low crossing now. I think there would be limitations on some boats with fixed T-tops and like that type of boat getting in order to keep the bridge seat height lower, which reduced how far north and south we needed right-of-way. So it's not a full height. I can't remember the finish height anymore. It's been quite a while.
The intersection there where it says roundabout, Four Corners, Beach Street, Bellew Road, I don't think anybody has an appetite for a roundabout there. However, how is this going to affect Fairview? Because Fairview is in pretty bad shape itself from Ridgewood down to that intersection. Are we going to do anything to improve Fairview there with this?
Well, I think Fairview currently is a county road section, and I think any pavement issues that are present there are some utility work that we did, and Brian can correct me. I think we have an obligation to resurface a section that was done with the utility patching. For some reason, I thought it was done, but maybe we haven't got there yet. Yeah, I'm not sure where we're at, but the county paved Fairview not that many years ago, and then we did some utility work that caused those patches, and we have an obligation to go back and do large patches on Fairview. So.
Thank you.
So back to Bellew Road. So again, maybe you can help me with this. So there are many communities that have little pocket parks, so they have little areas. And the concern that one resident had was that we don't really have that in Bellew Road, but Sickler would be that particular park for Bellew Road, would you say? So the types of improvements that we're planning, would they be park-like? And the example was like Bethune Point. Are we looking at something like that to give that whole community a park of their own?
I mean, I think the park in that area would be either Sickler or really Riverfront Park. I mean, it's a block to the east from there, from the intersection of Fairview.
But right now, Blue and North Beach Street really doesn't have any residential. It's mainly all commercial. So, I mean, that's why I strongly believe North Beach Street needs to be redone, the utilities, everything,
Yep.
before we can concentrate, I think Commissioner Paris agrees too, before we can concentrate on anything else. And if you go back and read some of the amendments, well, Mr. Henry was on the CRA back there, but if you go back and read, he was a commissioner, but if you go back and read, and Glenn Ritchie was the mayor, North Beach Street is what they always planned to fix. But I guess during the recession, they didn't have enough money in there, and that's why it just kept going the way it has been going.
So I've had residents contact me. We all spoke to people, constituents in our zones about this with the various CRAs. And the thought process was that while we are engaged in manufacturing there, the rezoning becomes important because they maybe would like to see some changes there where we could see what we could do with our land development code, rezoning it more to residential, and there's two choices, expanding usage or limiting usage, meaning expanding saying we'll include more, or limiting saying this particular usage, we won't do this again in this area. Now, the other concern I have, because my other concern is this, what happens to the businesses there? Where do they move? Do they not expand? Do slowly by attrition they go away? And then when they decide they no longer want to be in business, we have a new usage ready to go. But I think that the zoning needs to change in conjunction with the roadways. Downtown, what happened was once we started making changes that were significant, more people came downtown. When we start making big changes in our roadways and infrastructure, then businesses start paying attention to that area. And if we could change our zoning at the same time, it might time out really nicely as a new project development there. So I would like us to look at rezoning.
That's number 9.
Can we confirm that's already in the works?
We sent you all, yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
received it. So then how long before we could get it explained to us and we could make any changes and vote it in?
It was only sent to the people that requested, but you all, whenever, if you all want us to change the zone, we're ready to do that.
So I think go ahead, Mrs. Paris, go ahead.
No, I just want to make sure, so if we could send it to the whole commission so everybody could look it over, and then we could schedule it if everyone's in agreement to put it on one of the agendas coming up.
In order to rezone, you're going to have to go through the planning board first. And
Okay.
And then adopt an ordinance, and I think your practice has been to show those proposed items to the redevelopment area board for the area in question as well.
So, but it needs to be presented to us as a group first, what, in a workshop? So we could look at it and see? No.
We'll take it back to the redevelopment boards. That's what staff has been directed to do from you all. Then it will go through the process of coming up.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
So the 3 priorities for Ballou Road are?
Well,
North Beach Street.
North Beach Street is number one. I believe North Beach Street is just, in all of the CRAs, it's number one. So that's what I believe. You just
And I'm-
look at everything in every CRA and you say, what's the first thing I want to do? North Beach Street for me.
That's
And
what
I
have.
concur.
A little bit disappointed that pushes Grandview out a little further because, as we discussed 2 years ago, you and I,
And that's when we started pushing, and I can just tell you from a timing perspective, I think is advantageous, and y'all can decide otherwise, but we're about to let Phase 2 of Beach Street this spring, and that'll disrupt Beta, Fairview, and then our thought process is then North Beach follows behind to not have so much disruption in the same area all at the same time, just from
Yeah,
a
that's
timing
good.
perspective with other projects.
Time.
okay, that's good. Number 2 and 3?
Mayor, may I ask, when you say North Beach Street is going to be a priority, meaning resurfacing, sidewalks, underground utilities, what do we mean by North Beach Street?
Yeah, because I
Because if
had
it's all those
other
3, I'm
second-
okay with that also.
I had second sidewalks, ADA, they're awful.
North Beach Street needs to look like a Daytona Beach street that we want to be proud of. And that's the number 1 priority in the Ballou Road CRA for me. I mean, if it takes everything to make it look like Martin Luther King, then let's do that. We want to be proud of it. I'm tired of driving. I just came down that road from Ormond Beach, and it's
Shake
a
all over the
disaster.
place.
And the truth is, every time that I post about roads and resurfacing, the number one street that the residents refer to on my page is North Beach Street. It's a perpetual, I get a perpetual reminder that they too are tired of North Beach Street.
All right.
So if it takes the 2.2 million, I'm in agreement, so be it.
All right. That's 1, 2, and 3. No,
That's what I think.
That's
I
what
don't
I
see it
think.
happening the other way.
Where are we going next?
You want to go to downtown CRA?
It's right above it. Okay. It's not in the roundabout.
So if that's our number one priority on the Blue Road CRA, all the other ones, they just drift off?
But we'll see them again.
Well, we'll see them again. Just keep them, they're longer term. We're talking, we immediate right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some of these cost nothing, right? The rezoning, that costs nothing. So we could do that as an administrative concern. I noticed that we have utility
Yeah,
boxes.
might be able to get that.
We have utility boxes going on as well in all of them.
Utility boxes are gonna cost money.
I get-
And I actually checked into those. If they're FPLs,
They'll do them.
they have only so many, I guess, displays you can
Designs.
use, right? And the Espelon, I did call them, and all those utility boxes, they actually they were like 6,000 to 8,000 apiece. I'd rather all the 2.2 million go to North Beach Street than worry about utility
So it's not that
boxes
the
to
utility
afterwards.
boxes are insignificant. It's more so that we've been discussing them for a while, so I thought they might already be funds allocated. So funds have not, we've been talking about them for a while. Funds have not ever been allocated for
What we
that.
did was, we took everything off that the city staff have thought about in the past or currently. The only thing that is encumbered in these budgets are what is our debt service. So what will happen is that David and utilities will come back with the associated costs for these improvements, and whatever money is available in that particular CRA will be attached to your priority.
So exclusively just, okay.
I think some commissioners, I'm not telling you how to spend your money, but have COVID money that could actually do some of those if someone wanted to. I don't know. Personally, I'm with you. I think that North Beach Street needs to be taken care of. And then after that, all this other stuff, we can start on it. The zoning, I agree with you. We can do something like
Easy.
that. Doesn't cost money. But I think our money needs to concentrate on North Beach Street, especially downtown is looking good. Brown has put a lot of money. It goes right through. And then you're also going into Holly Hill. We're not making Holly Hill look that great with North Beach Street. And then they're redoing Mason Avenue, DOT.
Okay.
We're good.
I have a question, Mayor. In regards to that property that FDOT purchased from us by the First Step Shelter, we still have those funds available also, don't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have those funds.
And how much is that?
Do you remember?
Around 3 point something million?
3.25 or 3.2?
Yeah,
So-
it was a little under 3.5 million.
There is money there too, if we decide we want to use it there.
I'm not gonna make any decisions like that now.
Yeah, let's wait
I
till we have the
don't wanna
money in
get into
hand.
anything like that. Me. Let's wait till we get that money and then
If,
let's not start
Yeah, let's say-
spending it. Yeah.
So I'm just curious, some of these items here, the commercial corridor revitalization, what does that mean?
That's the old mixed-use entertainment district doing the changing of the zoning and things of that.
So that's all part of number 9, let's say. That's all part of number 9, okay? So those are two extra
So,
things.
so
we could
let's
do.
just go over this. Because what on this sheet doesn't cost money? And that's what you're getting.
That's what I'd like to know, yes,
So
that I can
what on
get
this?
done.
Because I'm not opposed, I'm for all of those things. So whatever there that doesn't cost money, let's get those things done too. Would you all agree to that?
Yeah, and I believe,
Things don't,
I believe on code on North Beach Street Mr. Pietro?
Yeah,
I
and I-
think we need some code enforcement on
I
North
think
Beach
there is
Street.
some code on there.
Well, I can drive on there, there's a mattress that's been embedded in this
It's-
pavement.
No, I'm saying
for-
it's not about a matter of no code violations. It's a matter of people going through the process if they're cited for a code violation. So it's not a matter of
Okay.
if there's none, we'll be able to show the code violations on there. And if we can't just go on private property, but David has, him and his team and Waste Pro, if there is a noticeable thing that's not on private property, they go and get the items.
I just think we need to step up our game and code over there and clean it up.
Okay.
Do we have enough code officers to handle everything?
No, we can't get no more code officers.
It really is not about having enough code officers. It's about us making sure that our LDCs and working with the magistrate and the code boards in the state legislature to get things done. So even if we cite the person, we've cited people 10 or 15 times, they clean up the property. I use, for example, because me and Commissioner Strickland was just talking, the Jesus Hotel. They get cited, new owner comes in, they change something, they fix something, and then it goes right back. And so it's not a matter of how many code officers, it's a matter of people following through and us staying on them to get it done.
It's a process, and it just takes time. Once the owners are notified, do they act on it? Do we cite them? Do we fine them? And then how long does that take?
Okay, now you guys are gonna be here. You got through one of them.
Yeah, come on.
Let's go.
We're on downtown.
Let me help you. Right here. Oh,
Downtown.
well, we ain't gonna make it there to do all that. We're gonna have to do this again the next
So
meeting.
who wants to go?
Downtown CRA?
Activities.
Commissioner Mates, you're.
I'd like to know I don't want to know what these mean. Activation of city-owned properties, what does that actually mean?
Well, I know what it means for me.
Mayor Ken Thomas, the activation of city-owned properties. So you know that the marina, the fire station, of course, we have an RFP. So when those properties are redeveloped, they're going to ask for some incentives from the CRA. So we want to set aside some funding to encourage development for those two properties.
Okay. And have we given thought to it not being an RFP where it's a sort of a shared, one person owns land and one person leases, where we still own the land? Have we thought of just selling?
Well, the fire station is already RFP out, so depending on, what responses we get, there could be a potential ask by the person who responds to sell the property.
I have a question.
You won't know until they respond.
Okay? All right.
So how many of you actually had an opportunity to go to the marina and see the room that was vacated by the town company?
Oh, I've
Yeah.
been to the marina,
Yeah,
yeah.
that has income potential for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're always going on the beach side to give money over there. This money would come back to us. You know how many weddings and special events and fundraisers we have in our gymnasiums? I've been talking about this for years. How can D-Land, Deltona, and New Smyrna have a beautiful facility in Ormond for folks to rent, and here we have property right on the river that we can take advantage of? We have been talking about not taking care of our capital properties. This is ours, we own it. Let's do something with it.
You're talking, I don't see it down there. It's not on the list. I wrote it down.
Me too.
Create a city-owned banquet hall.
Yes, sir, that's
And
me.
that's number one. I wrote that on my sheet.
That's number one for me. I went with the marina activation of city-owned properties,
And then I
number
see the
6.
marinas.
I
That's
think
what
we
I see
need to
it
take
at.
care of our marina before we actually do something like that. That's my personal opinion.
So I know that Commissioner Paris and I both have discussed the development of the Ridgewood area, and then Commissioner Paris likes the underground utilities as
I
well.
don't want that.
Pardon me?
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah.
We've talked about that endlessly. That's so expensive. That's not something we can do right away.
So the
Underground
underground utilities or Ridgewood in
I mean, I
general?
want it, but it's pricey.
Okay.
It's not something we necessarily have to have right now.
But what would development of Ridgewood enhancement look like? Would it be rezoning? Would it be, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it'll be a combination of it, because when you drive down Ridgewood, it's all private property right now. So you either acquire those properties, you either give money incentives to those property owners to improve it. We do a beautification of Ridgewood. We only go down to Fairview with the CRA, so you won't be able to go down to Mason. So any improvements we make will be in the public right of way.
What's the south border, Ken? You said
South?
Yes.
Yeah, South Street.
it was on South Street.
And what does waterfront development mean? Number 4.
Oh, we have some properties along, well, we don't have them, but there are some properties along the waterway, the river at least, that we can incentivize to create some more residential developments.
Where would that be?
And
The
we do-
turn, the kind of turn
We are
there,
off of Main
as you go to
Street,
Bellevue?
36.
Extension?
Where is it?
We also own 36 Halifax,
Okay,
which is right off the Halifax River, that's space. So it's a matter of trying to create a destination on some of those areas. On both sides. I mean, if you want to do the City Island, that's right there by the library. There are other different options, but not only for us to manage, but private developers also to invest, and that's where you get up, where people want incentives to actually improve those areas.
36 Halifax is Main Street, right? It's not downtown?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just saying, with waterways,
South Main Street.
What's the status of the project? The 80% of the TIF that's going into there?
We're talking about West,
Delta?
Delta West?
Yes.
I think Delta West is permitting, going into site plan. I'm not real sure. Dennis? Oh, okay, there we go.
It is? Okay.
Thank you, Dennis.
What did he say?
It's about
About to be approved.
Oh,
The site plan is about to be approved.
And when you have a holiday activation in Public Plaza, because I have my book from December that I'm looking at, what Christmas lights are you talking about? Are you talking about
Esplanade?
in the media? Yeah, no, the Esplanade is not paid from the CRA.
We still on downtown?
You have it in the
Christmas
book
lights.
here. Well, Ken did.
You still on downtown?
Yeah, did you
Which
guys
one?
move?
No.
Oh,
Oh, in downtown.
No, but we want to talk about these 9 that are in front of us.
is that the B
Not
Street?
something,
Is
okay.
that the B Street improvements?
because there's
of
no
Christmas
CRA
lights?
funds, and then the DDA does what, 25,000? Is
Yeah.
it 25,000?
That's
Yeah.
December to remember.
Okay.
Yeah. To the Esplanade.
Okay, so for the downtown area, my preference would be, since I'm also in the DDA, would be incentives for small businesses to continue coming into the downtown core. So I would say whatever we can do to continue encouraging that, since we have 2 apartment buildings that will be there eventually, we need to have some incentives to promote downtown businesses to stay or to begin. A particular project that I find interesting, but I recognize is costly, is seeing if we can put in some kitchens that we've discussed. There are some programs where we would put in the kitchen, we would own the equipment, which would then create a space for a future restaurant. And in my estimation, the downtown needs more restaurants that are just walkable from one to the other. So I would like us to invest in the small business community as best we can in the downtown area.
I'm in agreement.
Question is, what does that look like? What does that look like?
Yeah. They're conversaries, they're test kitchens, and it's available space that people who are in business, food trucks, they would utilize the space.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was, it's a program where the space is there, the particular owner of that space decides that they want to have a kitchen in there, and we assist with that. So it's a kitchen inside a restaurant facility, or inside a building that wants to be a future restaurant facility, something along those lines.
Not familiar with that.
Okay, this program actually exists. I will get
Okay.
information for you. But we then actually own, because the most expensive part of this is the kitchen. That is the hardest part. So if we can help with that downtown, it sets us up for restaurants.
Are you talking about where they would come in and rent the space to cook?
No,
From time
and
to
it's not,
time,
it's not a
or-
community kitchen. So you own the restaurant, you own the building, and you would like to lease it out for a restaurant to use for a year, or 2 or
Just
3.
leasing or something.
But you can't afford to put it in, neither can the leasee. So the city then goes ahead and puts it in there, and there are cities doing that. It stays with the property, but it becomes a restaurant, and it stays. But anything that I'm happy to share the program with you, but it's worked in small towns, it's worked in different, main streets, et cetera. But I think focusing on the business community down there would be great, the small business community.
I'd be interested in something that was more along the lines of they come in and they can, a community type kitchen, they could rent it for the day and.
I don't know if that's the right location.
No, we already have that in
It
zone
doesn't,
4.
it doesn't matter where that type of business, it doesn't really matter where that type of business goes because
I like the business.
people are going to come to it no matter where it is because they need it and they need access to it wherever it is. But
Yeah, those are
We have to
more
have
common
money.
as
they're more
commissaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are quite a bit here in the state of Florida with that.
Yeah, I'm familiar and I like the idea.
Yeah.
I just don't know that Beach Street is the right place for it because do we already own the parcel? How much is that? That's gonna cost a lot of money in that area.
Yeah, you would have to, you could lease a building.
Yeah.
You have to build the space out and offer it to the general public for a nominal fee.
Yeah.
Because
So that-
there's only 504,000.
Yeah, that doesn't-
So we can't do much. I'm talking to some of the businesses down there and talking to people down there. They keep saying public safety should be their number one downtown.
Just so we're clear, I think, do you have anybody on your staff who knows about what I'm speaking about? Could you tell us about it, please, if you know about it?
Yeah, it's,
It might be a new concept to us, but it's worked in other places.
okay, we only have so many minutes.
Right, understood.
Okay.
Phoebe
Right.
Fuquay, project manager for the downtown and Baloo CRA. It's called a white envelope. So that's pretty much a build out. You will have a partnership. I've seen it in other municipalities as well. It works as long as the city as well as the business owners have an understanding, or the person who owns the building has an understanding. You will have to iron out who owns the equipment. Commissioner May mentioned that we will own the equipment, so you would have to iron out those responsibilities, and the liability does fall on whoever owns the property.
What has the result been of it? What's the result of doing that?
Result has been, it's cut costs for those restaurants that come in. So you attract franchises, you also attract small businesses who are looking for a come up to help offset their initial investment.
Okay, question. So if we own it, that means we would still be responsible for the upkeep
Of the equipment.
of the equipment.
Yes and no. There's been a couple instances where the person who rents it, that's an agreement where they have to maintain the maintenance, but more so the owner does help with the maintenance. So it's all about however legal wants to iron out those clauses.
I think our number one goal for downtown is to increase foot traffic. Am I correct on that?
Foot traffic, yes.
Okay, because it's pretty built out, it looks pretty nice. What are the other issues that we need to address?
We need more business
Public
down there.
safety?
Yes, but we need more business down there. The theory is that if we have more people, it actually improves public safety, because you have more people shopping, you have more people out, you have more people living downtown. That's part of the concept.
Okay, so I guess the big thing is to attract businesses, so we could get more people, so it could be safer.
Yeah.
So we should focus on getting businesses down there?
Yes, I would like that.
So what can you suggest that we could do to get businesses down there, and we have the money to do it?
I would suggest that we incentivize more with lease space. Right now, we have a lease option grant that's available to businesses who want to locate in our downtowns or our CRAs. And it's like $1,500 a month for 3 months total. If we wanted to increase that amount, we could. We also offer funding to businesses to do interior improvements. as well as exterior improvements. One of the things we haven't done is we haven't done a market study to determine what we need in the downtown area.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Last time we had somebody come up and they said, do we have somebody on staff that can actually do that for us without us putting money or giving money away? Do we have anybody, can we conduct a market study?
No, I would pay a consultant who does this on a daily basis, professional who is in the business of recruiting those type of uses, retail, commercial, offices. I would hire someone who does that.
And part of the CRA money would go toward that?
CRA would pay for it.
Okay.
So Ken, if in your budget you have grant money where some of the things that Commissioner May is saying she'd like to see done, where people can lease the equipment and what have you, then I still remain number one on a banquet center, banquet hall.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
I still remain number one on a banquet center. And here's part of the reason I agree with all of these things. We've invested a lot in downtown.
Yeah.
We've invested a lot in the infrastructure of downtown. We've invested a lot in Jackie Robinson. And I believe that all of the residents should have a benefit to the marina and have a reason and access to that space from all over the city. And we do not have a banquet space of this magnitude, and it's actually very low-hanging fruit. So for me, it's the number one priority. While I agree with some of the other priorities, not all of them, I do agree with some of the others. But that's number one.
If we don't, does the banquet center just continue to just sit?
That building is just sitting there looking like beautiful bones.
And I think our biggest concern, one of our main concerns last year was not taking care of the properties that we've had. So the longer properties sit, I'm not okay with continuing to allow buildings to just sit and not be utilized and not be taken care of. And if we have to take care of it anyway, it may as well be utilized. So it's a catch-22.
So,
And it could be revenue generating for the CRA.
And it can be revenue generating for the CRA as well.
so my question would be, the cost to renovate that, to actually do the work on that, would the money that we have in the CRA now cover that cost?
And also, the third question is, which I believe we do, but do we have general funds to help address that building?
Okay, so that's my first thought is, do we have the money right now, or are we now pulling from other sources to fund a longer-term project, which I recognize will potentially bring income? That's number one. And yes, we are still maintaining it, that's number two. And we will continue to maintain and upgrade it, number three, so more cost. Or do we invest more quickly? We use the phrase low-hanging fruit. We're trying to get things done quickly, I would think. I would like that downtown anyway, and incentivize the businesses. To me, we can get that going quickly, and we can get the result.
He says he has grant money for that.
Yes.
Do we have, really?
Yeah,
You
that's
hear
what
that?
he just said.
Yes,
That's what
if you all, what he's saying, if you all don't change,
If we don't change,
Priorities.
but if we change priorities and we move to the marina, or we move to whatever else, where the money shifts, correct?
Yeah, we take money from grants to
Right, and I'm
help.
saying, I disagree with you. I don't want to take money from grants. I want to leave the money in the grants.
And so we're asking, do you have general fund money to address this issue of the banquet hall?
me and David Waller in finance will look to see if there are general funds available, which we think there are, instead of taking these from CRA.
So ultimately, we could leave the money in the CRA for downtown as it is, and we would find other funds for that.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with it also. Actually.
Was that location previously rented by a private company? And what is the city going to do that's different from a private company to make it successful? If this doesn't pay for itself, or someone could prove that it's going to pay for itself, I don't think I'm for this.
Okay, I don't see how that can work in the first place with CRA funds, because that's an enterprise fund, the marina is. You can't mix and mingle stuff. And I'm going to be talking about more about this marina tonight during commission comments, and that doesn't work. I mean, we can do something at the marina. There's a lot that needs to be done at the marina, but You can't do that. It's their own enterprise over
Okay.
there. I mean, but we can do that. I mean, he said that there's money or something.
They're saying that they're gonna look in another pot.
Another pot for
Right.
the
That's why he
marina.
said
Right,
that.
and but I'm just saying, you can't, you understand.
Yeah, I understand that
Right.
if
Are you
can't-
saying we can add in, but we can't take out, correct?
No, you can't,
No.
she's saying you can't spend money from the
exactly.
CRA.
That's an
into the
enterprise zone.
It's separate, yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So they're gonna find money in another area for
Okay.
that. That's why they didn't have it on the list. We put it on the list because it's that important to us in downtown. Okay? They didn't have it on the list because they knew that you couldn't do that.
But as of right now, we're going to just stick with the business community, correct? We're going to stick with what it is in the business community.
Well, we haven't come to our priorities, the other
Okay.
priorities out of that. But I don't think anybody's opposed to
Okay.
continuing because we all agree that you want to get more people into downtown, which we think is going to happen. The more residents we get, but we want to help the businesses to be successful.
Okay.
I'm not so much as in favor of building a restaurant when you got restaurants down there that are closing and they already got the space there.
I'm not
So-
saying build a restaurant.
But I know, but
Yeah,
even
Invest
invest
in-
in.
okay.
Okay. We gotta move on from this.
So are you all, you said incentives for downtown is a priority and then rank the other ones afterwards?
Are we gonna have to move our CRA meeting to the next commission?
Yeah, he already said we
Yes.
may have to do that.
Okay.
So we
Yes.
just keep talking.
Well, we ought to end this now
Right.
because we were supposed to hear from somebody,
But
right?
they'll come back.
They'll come back
Yeah.
the next time.
Yeah, you all need to, that's why we did, the first meeting we had for the
It's
CRA
over.
was not on the commission meeting, because we knew it would take a while. So you all need to, if we can, reserve this on a Wednesday when it's not a commission meeting to allow for more discussion is what we really need.
I'm okay with that.
All right, we'll see. I'll try to be there. Y'all taking away my Wednesday.
Yeah, right?
You gonna call it, Mayor? Is this
All right,
yours?
let's go.
That's mine, okay.
This
You
happened.
Gator man, you want to go?
When did they say they were doing those?
They're-
rezon-